And now at noon, DeKalb County's district attorney is joining 5 other DAs from Metro Atlanta in suing Georgia over a newly signed law. They say that this law targets some of the most populous counties in the state, and the DAs have filed a civil case against the state to strike down House Bill 369. This law makes elections for district attorney races and others in 5 Metro Atlanta counties nonpartisan. DeKalb County DA Sherry Boston says that the law targets counties where voters predominantly lean Democratic.
And it is very hard to ignore that the 5 counties targeted by this law have large black voter populations and have all elected black female district attorneys.
Governor Brian Kemp signed the bill into law last month. At that time, lawmakers said that it was about public safety over party and policy over politics.